Hello, class. ENG4U. It is May 14th, and we're going at you with your second reflection today. So, uh, the reflection today, I know I said I wouldn't be related to coronavirus, but this is a little related to coronavirus, I suppose. But as you'll see, it's not too much of that, right? Because this controversy isn't really just about the virus, right? It's about something that happened sort of around the virus. Anyway, so the topic for today is actually a singer, a guy who, if you've been watching the news, which most people are nowadays, you might have heard of. His name is Bryan Adams. So, if you don't know, Bryan Adams is a very famous Canadian artist and musician, right? He's been around since the 80s and he's very well respected and well regarded, right? He has a lot of fans. He's certainly made a lot of money and everything like that, right? He's literally been releasing music since before I was born, right? Which sort of tells you how old I am. So this is extremely a famous Canadian musician, right? I would play some of his music right now, but I'm afraid that that's gonna get copyright police on me. So if you've never heard his music before, just type Bryan Adams into YouTube, and you will see what he does. So the reason we're going to be talking about him today is actually nothing to do with his music, but everything to do with something he said on Instagram just recently, where he posted a picture and he said, and I quote, "Tonight was supposed to be the beginning of a tenancy of gigs, but thanks to some," and then he swears here, right? So thanks to some effing bat eating, wet market, animal selling, virus making, greedy, and then he swore again. The whole world is now on hold, not to mention the thousands that have suffered or died from this virus. So that's what he said on Instagram, and it has not gone over so well for him over the last, I guess you could say, 24 or 48 hours, right? Because these comments were taken as being anti-Chinese and anti-Asian, right? Mainly because of the comment about bat eating, right? Being taken as a reference to Chinese wet markets in Wuhan, China, where the virus originated. Amy Go, the president of the Chinese National Council for Social Justice, what she said was, "This is so irresponsible and just so racist. People look up to public figures. He is seen as an idol by many. These comments intensify racist hatred against Chinese." So he trended on Twitter, right? And he was criticized a lot by people saying he was a racist and everything like that. So Bryan Adams apologized and he said he didn't mean it for it to be racist, but was rather just trying to point out animal cruelty and promote veganism, which is something that he's always done. The guy's a member of Greenpeace, right? So he's always been all about animal rights and everything like that. But his apology has not really been accepted, right? People are calling it a non-apology and that he took too long to say it and everything like that. So, uh, anti-Asian and anti-Chinese racism is certainly on the rise in the wake of the coronavirus, right? It's stoked by Trump, who of course is spreading the idea that the virus was created in a Chinese lab, deliberately created, which is not backed by any evidence as of yet. There is certainly an infectious disease virus in Wuhan, China, an infectious disease lab in Wuhan, China, but there's no direct evidence as of yet that the virus escaped from there. However, regardless of what happened in China itself, the people in Canada who are Asian are, of course, not to be blamed, right? Because we have seen incidents of racism increasing, right? So there's this headline here from the Toronto Star: man punches woman, yanks out her hair after she stands up for Asian woman on Vancouver bus, authorities say, right? So this guy, you see in the picture there, attacked someone in Vancouver because he was ranting on about how Chinese people are responsible for the virus. And it says here, uh, transit police in Metro Vancouver are asking for the public's help in identifying a suspect who allegedly attacked a woman, punching and kicking her multiple times and pulling her hair so hard he removed a significant amount. Right? Who does that? Well, that guy did that apparently. So this is, one such incident of racism in Canada. So that's part of why people got so upset about our singer, Bryan Adams. People were saying, look, this guy, Bryan Adams here, is promoting racism, right? By going on this little rant about, bad eating people causing the coronavirus, right? That he's feeding into this racism, right? So that's what people are saying about what he said, and that is why he ended up having to apologize. But there's another side to this as well, and that is the social media side of this, right? Because this is one of those instances where someone says something that, maybe they shouldn't have said, and they get a sort of online backlash against them, where a large number of people from all around the world will sort of hop on and start a hashtag sort of calling for the guy's blood, right? Let's see. We've got right here the trend here of Bryan Adams, right? Hashtag Bryan Adams, right? Hundreds and thousands of people saying all of these things about him, often swearing at him, uh, you know, giving their reactions, right? On it goes. There's a huge Twitter backlash around Bryan Adams, right? That just comes from this sort of social media culture that we have, right? With all of these people demanding his resignation. This person here saying they can't support Bryan Adams ever again, and they're going to sell all of his cassette tapes and everything like that, right? So that's sort of what happens on Twitter. So that brings us to our reflection topic of the day, right? Which is going to be about this Bryan Adams question, right? And the question is, what is your reaction to the Bryan Adams controversy? Do you think this was about racism, or does this have more to do with social media culture? So I'm trying to make this question open, right? So you can approach this question however you think you want to. So, if you're thinking right now that Bryan Adams guy, he's a racist, he hates Chinese people, whatever it is, right? Or he's buying into this Trump conspiracy theory, whatever it is you want to say, right? You can make your reflection all about the race aspect, right? That's your take here. If, however, you're thinking, oh, well, Bryan Adams, sure, he said something maybe he shouldn't have said, but he doesn't deserve all this backlash, right? He apologized, it should be fine. If you want to, you can make your reflection all about social media, right? So if you want to talk about social media and hashtags and how people tend to pile on nowadays, that can be something you do as well, right? So the reason I'm making it like this is that it's a little different from the other reflections we've done, right? Because there's a cat jumping around. the sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, just look at this crazy cat over there, silly cat. Anyway, so what is it? Yes. So the reason I'm making it open is because the often you get questions like that in university. University professors will ask you a question where you can take it in a vastly different direction depending on your perspective, right? And you could even go, by the way, in a direction that I don't even expect, right? So you can take this in other directions, right? So if you want to make this about, I don't know, veganism, right, which is what Bryan Adams said it was about, then you absolutely can, right? Or if you want to make this about, the meat industry or something like that, sure, go ahead, right? So this is meant to be an open question, right? It's just your reaction to the topic at hand. So this is the second reflection out of two that we've done this week. Right, the first one I was on assault rifles, and so what you're going to do is you're going to put both of them into the same file, right? So copy and paste if you need to, and you're going to throw both of them into the Google Classroom, right? You just go to classwork here, and it's not there right now, but there'll be an option for you to submit something there, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about the rubric tomorrow, but my hope is that you guys can get them done by May 15th at midnight. If you need some extra time, just get in touch with me and let me know what's going on so that I have some idea of when it's going to come to me. But my hope is that you've already got your assault rifle one done already. So now you just need to send me the Bryan Adams one, and that will be that. So please submit it through this system in the Google Classroom. Let me know if you have any trouble, but it is just the same thing as sending an email. So do it through that. Don't email me the document. Do it through Google Classroom. I want to try grading it through there. And there is a rubric there that explains how it's going to be. Just so you guys know, there are 2 grades you're going to get out of this assignment, right? One is the writing grade. Let me just pull this up. There's a rubric, right? So you've got your writing component, which is going to be application, which is spelling and grammar, right? And paragraph structure, which is communication, right? That's sort of teacher talk, but here we are. So you got that, right? And then on the other side, I'm giving you a medium mark for thinking and communication, right? So Google Classroom will say it's out of 40, but that's sort of misleading. It's sort of 2 assignments out of 20, right? So basically think of it this way. I'm marking you both on your spelling and your grammar and your paragraph structure. That's your writing mark. But I'm also marking you on how well you're thinking critically, whether you're bringing good evidence forward, whether your argument makes sense, whether you have good information and good supporting arguments for whatever points you're bringing forward. All right. So it is going to be 2 grades like that, right? The rubric I might change, right, depending on how. I mean, I would really like it if it were out of 20 and then out of 20, like 2 assignments properly, but I don't know if Google will let me do that. So, nevertheless, that is how this thing is going to work. All right. So that's it for the reflections. Tomorrow I will be introducing short stories to you guys, and also the first short story of the course, right? I'll talk about that as well. And hopefully the reflection assignment will not be too difficult to put together. But as always, if you have any questions, post them below, and I'll also leave a link to some of this Bryan Adams stuff in case you want to read up on what's going on with him. Meow. Question. If I handed it on Monday, will there be late marks? Good question, Kat. I'm not putting late marks yet. If you get in touch with me and tell me what's going on, that will be fine, right? So I'm not going to hit you with late marks for that. Do note, and you should be aware, we're starting short stories next week, right? And things are going to be moving forward in the course. And if you are not handing things in, then you will rapidly find that things are starting to pile up. All right, so get those things into me as soon as possible. Though I understand you have kids and such, if you need till Monday, I won't freak out, right? But if it goes past Monday, then that will be a problem. Meow. But I'm a lazy cat. Can I do it next Friday? No. Don't be a lazy cat. Get your work done. Meow. Okay. I'll do my work. All right. So, guys, I hope that the reflection is clear. Ask me any questions you need to, and we will see you next time. Whoa, hey.